I worry about the financial situation of the state. I worry about the gridlock of the state. And those are the words that every person in the state has and every politician should have. And I think everyone understands today the need for reform. I mean, if you have elected officials who don't think we need to reform Albany, then we do have a disagreement. And I'll be right up front about that disagreement. I don't believe there are many who do, but we'd be starting from a very different point if that was the case.
Mr. Attorney General, the Working Families Party, they've been talking about who they're going to endorse for governor. They've been throwing around names. Would you take the support of the Working Families Party given the criminal investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office?
Yeah, I think that's premature at this point. We'll address that situation down the road.
Are you saying in some instances you think...
Let's do Jacob for a second. You know, I don't know what that means, Jacob. We use those words. Are you an outsider? Are you an insider? Are you an upside downer? Do I believe that I have been representing the people of the state for the past 3 years? Yes. Do I think my agenda for this state is an agenda that's in the best interest of the people? Yes. Do I think I know how state government works? Yes. And do I think that's an asset? Yes. Do I know how the federal government works? Yes. Is that an asset? Yes. Do I know how the private sector works? Yes. And I think that's an asset too. So do I bring experience in state government, federal government, and the private sector? Yes. But do I represent the people of the state? Have I represented the people of the state? 100%. Excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Is that a way of saying that you believe that it's okay and necessary sometimes to go around the legislature if they're not doing what you think is in the best interest of the people of New York?
I don't see it as going around because you start with the assumption that you were supposed to go through them as an assumption. I don't start with that assumption. I represent the people of the state of New York. You know, that's what I've done for 3 years. As Attorney General, you're literally their lawyer. As governor, you're their representative, you're their advocate. I represent the people. The legislature also represents the people. My mission is to develop an agenda for this state and to develop support among the people. I believe if you do that successfully, the legislature will pass an intelligent agenda supported by the people. I believe that. That's what has happened for the past 3 years. I've had success doing this for the past 3 years in Albany. I had success doing this in Washington before that. So it's a tried and true, and it's almost an inarguable formula. Otherwise, you would have to believe the legislators are going to act adverse to the interests of the people of their district. If legislators act adverse to the interests of the people of their district, they're not legislators for long. You know, I mean, it's the simple rule of politics. I think a big part of what's going on now is the ability to get it done. I think that's going to be one of the main challenges for the governor of the state, the ability to get it done. All these questions you're hearing, the skepticism about the legislature, because one of the great frustrations in the past has been the ability to get it done through the legislature. And I think I bring significant assets in that capacity. I think when you look at the competence level and the performance level that I've shown in the Attorney General's office, we've brought reform to Albany. We've gotten legislation passed in Albany. So there are two elements to the equation. Is it a good idea, and can you get it done? Your point is, I think these are good ideas. Can you get it done? I say I think I can, and I think my experience and record shows that I can. It's not just wishful thinking.
Thank you. Last question.
What do you mean, what? What? No. What? You're not talking about facial features. Do you know what he's saying? You know what he's saying? Saying I look like Grandpa. Do you think I look like Grandpa? I do, don't I? Say, okay. Are you saying I bear no similarity to my mother? Is that what you're saying? There's a certain chauvinism, I think, in the whole concept. My father was with us yesterday, your grandfather, when I announced. And my father, I believe, was an outstanding governor of the state of New York. I think he brought an integrity and a principle to the office. He brought an honor and a dignity to the office. When I was this young lady's age, growing up, state government was a great source of inspiration. And young people would look at state government and the men and women who were in state government, and they were role models and they were heroes. And not just my father, but the whole generation of elected officials on both sides of the aisle. And my father, to this day, says it's about principle, it's about integrity, and it's about honoring public service. And that's a very powerful message today. This state government has been a source of degradation. And Mario Cuomo's government was a government of inspiration. And I hope that's a lesson that I remember, and I hope that's an asset that I bring to Albany. Thank you, guys.